Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
WMAL. 7:37 on the Morning Majority, and we have the CEO of Gibson Guitars with us, Henry Juszkiewicz. How's it going, Henry?
Well, how is everyone this morning?
We're doing all right. So, the brief story, Gibson Guitars has been raided twice by the federal government since 2009. The most recent incident, you had a lot of raw material taken. They say you guys allegedly imported rosewood from Madagascar or India that is used in making guitars that they say violated the Lacey Act in some way. Is that correct? Do you even have an idea of what you're supposed to have violated at this point?
Yes. Basically they are saying that any rosewood or ebony fingerboards, and fingerboard is a important component in the guitar, gotten from India is illegal. And the reality is that we have been importing fingerboards from India for over 17 years, and those fingerboards were exported from India and certified by the export authorities. The wood was certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, which indicates that it was in fact legal and in fact meets a higher level of standard, if you will. And yet the government grabbed over 10,000 units of that wood when they raided us last week.
And the Lacey Act requires that plant material used cannot be illegally harvested in another country. So it would seem that because India and this third-party group say it's not illegally harvested, you'd be in the clear.
You would think that, but that's not the case. The government is interpreting Indian law differently from the way India itself interprets it.
Jeez.
Can I ask a couple of questions here to sort of get some things on the record? There's some question about how you classified this wood, because I want to make sure I understand it. You classified it as veneer when in fact it was lumber. Isn't that sort of a technical violation?
No. The wood that they grabbed Wednesday was classified correctly, and it's called fingerboards. It says that on the documents in India. It says on the documents of the chain of custody all the way through. What had happened is there was a shipment of fingerboards approximately 2 weeks prior that was mislabeled with the wrong number, if you will. It was still called fingerboards. It was still from India, and it was evident, and it wasn't deceptive what it was, but somebody had filled in the wrong number on a piece of import paperwork.
I'm told that generally violations of the Lacey Act are sort of considered minor infractions, not the kind of thing that you raid a plant over. And so the question has been asked in some quarters about whether or not this Lacey Act violation is being used as a reason to go into the plant and look for other things. Is this a concern of yours?
It absolutely is a concern that, they have a hostile action that shut down our facility, shut down several facilities, dislocated employees and so forth, in order to supposedly get information. That was what the warrant
well, what do you think they're looking for?
And yet we have supplied them over 80,000 documents in a court proceeding already. In other words, we were supplying them all the information they asked for. We had supplied an enormous amount of information through this court proceeding, and there was really no need to attack us to get more information.
Now, am I correct in this, that these violations could extend to guitars that are currently in the possession of dealers and actually owned by individuals? Is this something you're concerned about, that the Fish and Wildlife people might be going to your dealers and taking guitars off the wall, or tracking down people who've bought Gibson guitars?
Well, technically they could do that. Political causes, Republicans and Democrats. I'm not particularly intense about my politics, so I don't think it's that, and I just don't know. I mean,
Is it true that that someone in the federal government implied or said outright that getting the wood processed in another country instead of in America would have solved your problem? That was one of the things that's come out.
Yes, in one of their pleadings, they said we would be essentially better off manufacturing in Madagascar
Instead of America.
Yes.
And have you guys been adding jobs over the last couple of years?
We've hired over 580 new American workers in the last 2 years.
Manufacturing jobs for Americans. I'm glad we're working on this company.
So where does it go from here for you? I mean, you got to put a lot of money up for a legal fight in this. Are you talking behind the scenes? Where does it go from here, do you think?
That's the most frustrating thing. They haven't really been talking to us. Everything's secret, and so there's not much you can do. What we are doing is we're going to escalate our legal efforts, and we're attempting to find some way that we can sue them to get our day in court. And we hope to have a new lawsuit filed within days. Secondly, we're becoming very public and raising this issue to the general public and hoping that they support us and they call our congressmen and so forth, and that pressure is applied to get this process sane.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and telling your story. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Henry Juszkiewicz, CEO of Gibson Guitar, the big guitar raid controversy between the administration and Gibson Guitars. And as Mary Catherine points out, a company that's been hiring